Man, I'm just sitting here, man. Just thinking. Just thinking. This life shit is crazy. It really is crazy. I've been just reflecting on some shit and man, just kind of shaking my head with a little silly grin on my face, looking at life like, damn, this shit really crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's we living in a time right now, man, where so much is readily available to us, so much going on, so many things happening. It's wild times we're living in for sure. So as I was sitting down to think about what I was going to talk about in this episode, I really just thought to myself, why not share some thoughts that's been going on in my mind in terms of what's been going on lately in the world, where we're currently at as a civilization. You know, things in my mind that have been popping up are like, so many of us are sitting on untapped potential. So many of us are sitting on talent that could be used for the greater good. And we're just letting it fall by the wayside. And I'm like, damn, I'm looking at myself, really. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost with what I'm about to talk about in this episode, really. There's a lot to it. There's a lot I know I need to do. There's a lot I know I got to give, a lot I got to learn. And yeah, man, I've been on this path for a while now. So I'm going to be talking about a lot in this episode.
Unlocking levels, unlocking levels, unlocking levels. Hosted by Seal the Source. Tap in.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy CL the Source back with another episode of Unlocking Levels. Thank you once again for tapping in. And as you got a little prelude as to what we're going to be speaking about in today's episode, again, it's going to be a lot of organic reflection of where we're at. I've been in observation mode for a while now, doing a lot of self-reflection, of course, but also paying attention to what's going on in the world around me and kind of playing around with how I can look at things, you know, just through perspective and changing perspective. Because on one hand, you could look at things like the world is on fire, like the world's coming to an end almost. There's so much stuff going on. There's wars going on. We just got out of a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Cost of living is way higher than it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems as if life seems harder, life seems more challenging. And I'm not saying that's necessarily the way I'm looking at it. I'm saying that's kind of the general feel that I'm getting from the collective of people, right? And just by looking at what's going on online and looking at the cost of goods in the grocery and getting the general feel of people's energy, especially out here in Hawaii. It's an island, right? So it does feel like there could be a huge divide in different classes of people. You know what I'm saying? We've got the haves and the have-nots, right? We've got it's pretty clear. There's a lot of people that have a lot, and there's a huge separation, a huge gap between the people that don't have as much or have nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? And for me, you know, I've shared this in the past. I really don't look at things from a scarcity standpoint no more. I'm really doing my best to tap fully into this idea of abundance and turn that into my reality. You know what I'm saying? And just understand that, like, it's not even really about what I don't have. It's about what I do have and learning how to turn that into enough. And changing my style of living, really. But I don't really want to talk about that too much. I really want to get back to talking about where we're currently at, the feel that I have. And obviously, I come from San Francisco, California. If you know anything about San Francisco and the state of the city of where it's currently at right now, the homelessness over there is become a huge issue, and it's been that way for quite some time. The robberies, the muggings, the violence, just the separation, a lot of stuff going on over there. A lot of people feel like we need Batman over there, feeling like Gotham City, and I think that it looks like that way from the outside looking in at California in whole. Because I've also spent some time in LA, where LA you could see there are actual communities where it's just pure homelessness, where people are living in tents, people are living out of shopping carts, panhandling for money. It's like that. And I'm not just saying that that's just in California, but I think that's been going on for quite some time. It just feels like it's way more stronger than it ever used to be, right? And for me, I just kind of like wanted to address that with some of the thoughts that I've been having, some of the observations I've been kind of seeing and feeling. And I started off this podcast episode pondering a couple of different thoughts, and one of those thoughts was talking about some potential that we have, some talent that we have, that a lot of us are really just letting fall to the wayside. And I found myself questioning, why do we let that happen? And I'm speaking to myself again, just to reiterate, I'm speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to anybody else in this podcast episode. Why do we let that happen? Why do we just let our potential go untapped? Why are we here if we're not choosing to explore the limitlessness of our potential and share that with the world and live through that? It's an interesting question if you really think about it. I mean, many of us probably haven't even phrased that question to ourselves and actually addressed it and actually try to come up with some answers that are actually truthful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we avoid doing the work of tapping into that potential. We avoid the work of bringing out that talent. You know what I'm saying? And we're okay with everyday living. And, to each their own. I ain't judging nobody. Please, if you feel judged by this, I hope you don't, first and foremost. And if you do, I'll tell you that's not my intent. My intent is really to kind of just put the hard questions out there. You know what I'm saying? And really let you do what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna do what I do with it. I ask myself brutally challenging and tough questions on the daily. And for me, I'm gonna answer my own question here and just be as transparent as I fully can right now with what I'm talking about. Every day I wake up, when I have my time, when I give myself that time in the morning and at nighttime to really just air out my thoughts, write out my thoughts, and just allow myself to free flow with my thoughts. I always come to a place where I ask myself, who am I? Who am I really? Deepak Chopra, if you guys are familiar with anybody, the man named Deepak Chopra, he's a spiritual guru out there. He always says, find some time throughout your day to separate yourself from your distractions, be still, get silent, and just be with your thoughts. And during those times, ask yourself, who am I? And who am I really? Who are you besides your name? Who are you besides your race? Who are you besides your age? Who are you besides your sex? Who are you besides your religious beliefs? Who are you underneath all that? And ask yourself that, really, and sit there until you can really try to get to that core as much as you can, get to that inner space as much as you can. And for me, I find a lot of different things when I ask myself that, you know what I'm saying? One being, and the most powerful thing I come up with when I think about that, when I question myself in that regard, I ask myself that, and I come up with, I'm tapped into something more deeper, something more infinite, more divine. And we all are. I really believe that, because if we're made from the image of God, and not to get all religious and airy-fairy and hippy-dippy over here, right? But if you really sit with yourself, you're going to come up with these answers if you really give yourself enough time. You'll let all the other, superficial stuff that happens in your mind kind of just allow that to just dissipate so that you can eventually come up and find these answers. And you will really find that you're deeper than you really are. You're deeper than what meets the eye. You're a lot deeper. We all are. And we've been led to believe that we aren't. We've been fooled in a lot of ways. And through that deception, through that programmed disbelief in ourselves, we've been controlled. And I hate to break that to you. If you know, look, if this is coming off as heavy, and I know it is, and I'm not gonna get all long-winded here in terms of trying to break that down, because that could get into a space where you know, you might catch some feelings on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really just trying to put this out there in terms of like, wherever you're currently at, if you're experiencing any sense of unfulfillment, I highly encourage you to get still, find that space within yourself, ask yourself these tough questions. I've said this repeatedly through various different episodes of this podcast and of the Blessed Beyond Measure podcast and on other podcasts that I've been on. Ask yourself these tough questions. Who am I? Where am I going? What do I have to give? What am I here for? All these things. Ask yourself the questions that you've been putting off for so long. That's that shadow work, y'all. That shadow work is not done overnight. It's a continuous process where you're constantly every single day, consistently, if you're doing it right, consistently every single day, questioning yourself, not in a bad way to be like to abuse yourself, but questioning, are you really on the path that you're destined to be on? Or are you just trying to fit a square peg into a round hole and you're finding a lot of resistance? Because where I'm currently at, I feel freer than I've ever been. I'm way less a prisoner to what other people think about me than ever before. I used to think about what people think about me left and right. You know, nowadays when I create these podcasts, I don't even like respectfully, I don't give a damn what nobody thinks about me. I'm gonna put my truth out there. I'm gonna live in my truth, and I'm gonna be me authentically all day, every day, regardless of what people think about me. If you think I'm good, great, that's great. But still, it don't even matter to me. If you think I'm bad, oh well. I don't care either way, because I know myself. I know my intentions are pure. I'm learning who I am every single day more and more as the days go on, through this process of just understanding self at a deeper level. And that's what I encourage y'all to do. And if you need any guidance, please just go back to the archives. I got plenty of good stuff that you can tap into to kind of help you direct yourself back to that great within. And you know, for me, just kind of talking about the times that we're living in right now, y'all. Okay. I kind of referred to the space where we're at, where it does seem a lot scarcer for people. It seems like there's a lot of shit going on, and it depends on where you're looking at it from, what lenses you're looking at it from, what perspective, what approach you're taking it at. You could look at life like the world is burning. You could look at life like, what's the point of it all? Why even care, right? I wouldn't blame you. It's really on how you choose to look at life. Everything is dependent on perspective. So whatever lenses you're looking at it through, that's going to be your experience of life. Now, on the other hand, you can look at life as, right now, we're living in some of the most magical times. Take away all that shit. Well, you don't even need to take away all that shit. Just look at where we're at right now. We got this device, this phone, that could literally connect you to hundreds of thousands of millions of people all across the world. It's right here in our fingertips. You know what I'm saying? And we're over here, and not only that, if you don't know something, you could literally just turn this phone on. You could find the answer. It may not be as quick as like, you know, a simple Google search. You may have to do a little deeper dive in some instances and everything like that. But if you just need some direction and you need some quick answers, the phone is right there for you. Man, we living in a time right now where information is abundant. It's so readily and openly available to any of us. Everybody has access. That's just wild to me, man. You know, growing up, I mean, not to make any excuses, but we didn't have access to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? The internet is still relatively new. You know what I'm saying? If you a young cat listening to this, young person listening to this, you probably like, man, what you mean, man? I grew up in the internet age. You know what I'm saying? This is what I grew up with. But bruh, internet ain't really been around, only been around for like 30, 40 years if you really think about that. I mean, we in 2023 right now. Internet really, like, for me, started coming around in like the 1990s. Yeah, that's when my school started getting the computers and everything like that, you know. So that's when we started getting access, and that's when dial-up started coming around. Obviously, it's, you know, that's a long time from now, but like if you think about it from the whole collective way of looking at things and the collective reality, like, yo, that's not that long. 40, 50 years, whatever the case may be, however long the internet been around, and to look at how far we've come and where we're at right now, to be able to have access to it, it's right here in the palm of my hand. If I need to know an answer, it's right here at the palm of my hand. I'm on this computer, and I'm connecting through. I'm broadcasting my message just as easy as turning on the computer, setting up the microphone, and just putting it out there. And millions of other people are doing the same thing, you know. And look, there's also on the other side of things with the internet and everything like that, there's that dark side, right? Just like everything, there's always two sides of the coin, two sides of the spectrum, right? But again, everything's dependent on perspective, you know. I also look at where we're at. I mean, look at, we got AI. There's so many things not only that come, you know, that not only with the internet, but that come along with the internet. AI has been birthed from that. Look at how easy things are nowadays. I mean, if I could really show you what I do sometimes to kind of create these podcast episodes, you think it's like, if you didn't know what I was doing, you would probably think like, how is CL doing this? How is Chris doing this? How's he putting it together? But really, I've been doing this for a while now, so it's a lot easier, first and foremost. And second of all, it's even easier now because of the resources that I have available to me. And a lot of times they're free. You know, I mean, I'm talking about AI. I use ChatGPT on a regular, not super often, but every once in a while when I want to kind of outsource some writing or some creative work that I really either don't have time for in the moment, or just to help me simplify things to save some time. And, you know, also with that, you can create, there's so many resources, so many different things that you could tap into to help you with whatever you're trying to do. Now, you pair that with your talent, your potential, your gift, your natural innate gift. You can literally do anything you want to nowadays. It may take some time. It's going to definitely take some work, but you can create your own income. You can find ways to share your message, share your gift, share your talent, figure out how you can reach that potential. You can learn so many things. I mean, come on, man. For me, the internet has been more of a gift than a curse. You know, yeah, earlier on, before I started this podcast thing, I was off the internet. I was off social media because of what it did to my mental, you know. Back when I was on Facebook heavy, man, that shit, honestly, bro, that shit, there were moments where I would get really depressed, because what happens is like you get this window into other people's lives and you seeing the very best side of them, right? And you're feeling almost a little inept. You're feeling like you don't have enough. You're feeling like you got to keep up with others, when really that's an illusion in itself, and it's tricking you, and it's a trap. And that's what really kind of led me to a dark place. And I can see that happening for a lot of people. I observe how things kind of happen. Well, you know, what's going on, and the ill effects of having these social media platforms and the internet and all these different things, right? It makes you feel like you don't have enough. It can make you feel like you don't have enough, and that you're in competition with other people, and that other people's lives are so perfect and this, that, and the third. But you got a great life too. You could have the best life that you want to have. It's really up to you at the end of the day. Don't be fooled by the bullshit. Don't get trapped. Don't get lured into that space of thinking that you don't have enough, that you ain't enough, that you ain't deserving, that you ain't worthy, that you ain't capable. Stop all that bullshit, please. You're absolutely worthy. You gotta just be willing to put in the work. You gotta be willing to strengthen yourself from within and understand things on a deeper level. It takes work. Hate to break it to you. It takes work. It ain't gonna be easy, but it's simple as all hell. It takes work. It really does. And how much longer are you gonna wait to demand more for yourself and from yourself? You're capable of so much more. I'm speaking to myself 100% entirely too. Not only y'all, because I'm in a place right now where I may not necessarily be where I envision myself to be yet, but I'm on my way. I damn sure know that. I know where I'm going. I know what I want. It's becoming clearer and clearer every single day. Do I still have struggles? Oh yeah, absolutely. Just like the next man. But now I look at those struggles and those challenges and those difficulties merely as opportunities for me to get better, opportunities for me to learn from. Do I get in my space sometimes where I catch feelings and things like that? Yeah, every so often for sure. And then I catch myself. I'm like, bro, like, you need to stop complaining. You need to stop acting up. Use this energy as fuel. Use this because that anger, that frustration, those emotions, that's all energy too. If you do enough work, you're going to come to a place where you realize you could take that energy, that very same energy, and turn it around in your favor. And that's what I'm learning to do, y'all. I'm learning how to take the anger, the hurt, the feelings, the negativity, the hate, whatever, anything that's going on. I'm learning how to take that energy, and there's this word that you may learn, that you may already know, and transmute that into a better, more productive, more positive energy that's actually going to work in my favor to help me become better or help me materialize what it is that I'm working on even sooner, more efficiently. But yeah, I mean, everything boils down to perspective, y'all. Everything boils down to perspective. And for me, I've been playing around with that a lot. Sometimes when I look at things from a more cynical side of looking at things, I got to check myself. I'm like, yo, bro, what you doing? You know, it ain't like that. You know, and then you go even deeper. You ask yourself, why do I even still continue to think like that? And I come to the conclusion for myself that it's a whole lot of fighting old programming. You know, I've looked at things a specific type of way for so long in my life. I mean, I'm 39 years old going on 40, y'all. And I've looked at things a specific type of way for a long time. Okay? And when you believe something for so long and you finally start to realize that things aren't as they always seemed, as they always were, you're gonna come across some times where that old you is gonna kind of step into light, right? You're gonna revert back to old ways. But the key there, and the key for me, has always been just catching myself. I don't always catch myself right away. Sometimes it takes me some time, but ultimately I do catch myself. That's all that matters. And it helps to have good people around you that will help you realize things, help you see things. And it also helps even more to give yourself time, to process things, to figure things out, to put two and two together, to connect the dots. That time, that solitude, that space is super important. There's a saying that says, elevation requires separation. And that's just not separation from people. It's separation from your devices, separation from your distractions, anything that's pulling you away from ultimately you living your highest you meeting the highest version of yourself and living as the highest version of yourself. For me, that solitude is everything. As often as I can, I'm getting my ass to the beach, anywhere where there's nature, and I'm putting the phone down. Yes, that very same phone that I talked about that has all these terrific benefits and capabilities and that can lead to all sorts of different amazing possibilities. Yeah, that same phone. I put that thing down because for me, when I detach and I separate myself from that stuff, I also connect to something greater. I connect to something higher, more divine, more spiritual, more deep. And it reminds me of just how small I am in this world. But it also reminds me that I'm connected to something so much greater. And in those moments, it's beautiful. It's like pure bliss. And when I get out into the real world, sometimes I forget that, but that's why finding that space and giving yourself that time is so important, because that's when you truly connect to something greater. You realize these things and you realize a lot of shit at the end of the day don't even matter. A lot of shit that we trip about don't even matter. I be in my head, or I used to be in my head a lot over some shit that never even fucking mattered, yo. I like look at shit and I reflect back to how I used to be and how I still have some of them tendencies. But I look back and I'm like, damn, bro, like you was tripping off some stupid ass shit that ultimately didn't even matter. You know, when you gain that sense of clarity, when you get to a place where you just know that you're headed in the right direction, you're more, first of all, I think for me, first of all, you're more cognizant of how you're spending your energy. And for me, spending my energy in that way was wasteful. My energy is valuable. Your energy is valuable. What you do with it is extremely important. Where you lend your energy to matters a whole lot. Now, if we're spending our energy mindlessly, giving it away to bullshit that's doing a lot more extracting from us in a negative way, then of course we're gonna feel out of sync. We're gonna feel low energy, low vibrational, low frequency, of course. But when we're using our energy and managing our energy and maintaining our energy and giving more energy back into ourselves in pursuit of that higher purpose, that's where that fulfillment comes in. That's where that connection comes in. That's where that greater understanding of what you're supposed to be doing comes in. And that's when you can do your greatest work. I'm starting to realize that more and more, y'all, that this life, you know, we here for something bigger, yo. And we here for, you know, we only here for a short time. I mean, if you look at it from the perspective of the history of the world, the history of the universe, we're only here for a limited amount of time. And in that time, what are we really doing? What are we really using our energy for? Think about that. That's something that you should question yourself, because I question myself a lot. And I'm not sitting here trying to say that, like, you know, don't have fun, because I do believe that balance is very important. Very important. I think it's very important, because I need, just like I said, my energy is super valuable. I need my energy. And sometimes I need to just unplug completely and just not do nothing, or do stuff that I really, really want to do. And sometimes that might even mean watching TV to laugh, or you know, doing stuff that actually is entertaining, that you really enjoy. But that should never make you lose sight of what you're really here to do. If we just binging all day, if we just partaking in certain activities that are ultimately distracting us from what we're really supposed to be doing, I don't think you can win from that, like truly win. And you're gonna always feel unfulfilled and empty. You're always gonna feel a sense of a void and a large amount of disconnect. But to each their own. That's something I've always subscribed to, and I always believe to the end of my life. To each their own. If this message doesn't resonate with you, then it is what it is. But if it does happen to resonate with you, here's what I want you to take from it. Keep it moving, man. Straight up. Whatever mission you on, that pursuit of purpose that you on right now, that journey you on, keep it moving, keep going. Don't get hung up and strung up on some bullshit. If you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be right now, take a little break for a second if you need to, but ultimately collect yourself and get back up and keep it moving. You got to keep going. Ultimately, that's it. Whatever you start, keep going. Understand that you're here for a reason, and during your time here, you just gotta keep going after it. You know what I'm saying? Live the way that you truly believe that you should be living. Live in your truth, live in your authenticity. As I'm doing, I'm trying to get better every single day. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm trying to tap into my potential, tap into my talent, and share my gift, and give my gift fully before ultimately I gotta perish and leave this earth and move on to the next. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage y'all to do that. I definitely encourage y'all to continue your path, continue on your path. Don't let nothing stop you. If you get hung up on some shit, collect yourself and get back up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? And know that there's other people out there that are in pursuit of something greater just as you are. And the world needs you. The world needs your energy. The world needs your love. The world needs your gifts. The world needs you. So that's my message, man. This was a purely authentic rant, as I usually do, for sure. But this one, I came into this episode, I told myself, I'm just gonna, as I told you, I keep trying to get better at this. And I wanted this thing to just flow. There were a couple pauses here and there for sure. I promise you, as I'm creating these new episodes on a week-to-week basis, I feel myself getting better, more confident. And that's because I'm doing the work every single day. I'm learning. I'm questioning myself. I'm welcoming growth. I'm doing the work. And if you're doing the work, keep doing the work, yo. Keep doing the work. And that's a blessing, yo. And it's a blessing to be here, to be tapped in with y'all, and thank you so much for tapping in with me. And we're getting closer. We're getting closer every single day, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate y'all so much for being here, rocking with the boy. It's going on 4 years, y'all. Next April is gonna be 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Since this podcast was created, this podcast journey was started. So I'm ecstatic of where I'm at, where I'm going, where I've been. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm peaceful. I'm content. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied one bit. I'm gonna keep growing. I'm gonna keep going, man. And I'm gonna meet y'all at the top, y'all. Like I said, thank you once again for tapping into another episode. I'm your boy, CL the Source, your friendly neighborhood hope dealer. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please subscribe, share, like, comment. Do what you can to help this thing grow. And I sincerely appreciate y'all so much, and I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Stay tapped in, y'all. Till next time, peace and love.